This is Bowswellia Serrata. You might not have heard this before, but the more common term is Indian frankincense. We like this because it does actually have quite the variety of soothing, healing data. There's things on wound healing, and they even look at the isolated compound boswellic acid. There's a few types that is linked to the benefits of Bowswellia Serrata. However, the paper that I'm going to share is an in vivo rodent model, but I think it is the best because it's a comparison study between Bowswellia. They look at silver sulfadiazine and Vaseline. And this is actually to treat second-degree burns. And I found this really fascinating because it's a relevant and relatable comparison study. Yeah.
This is actually super cool because as someone who used to be a little cavalier in the labs, I am no stranger to pretty bad burn wounds. Victoria has seen some
I have
exciting...
one right here. Or just klutzes.
Yeah, it happens. And so Silvadine is just the standard, you know, like if you go to the hospital with a giant blister, they're gonna be like, here's some silver cream you can buy in Walgreens.
Yeah.
Good luck. So
yeah,
this is definitely a very aggressive standard to test against for burn wound healing.
Yeah, totally. So what they did was for the second degree burns, they applied either Bowswellia Serrata at 2%, Vaseline, or silver sulfadiazine on the wound twice daily. And they did this for 3 weeks total. And we'll share the results here. And how they calculated it was they looked at the surface area and they wanted, based on the area reduction, that would be the percentage of wound recovery. So you can see at first week, silver and Bowswellia seemed to perform on par. However, by the third week, Bowswellia had reduced the burn wounds by 95%, whereas silver had only reduced it by 76%. Vaseline had reduced it by 80%, and they actually had a control as well. And by week 3 had reduced it to 75%, which is on par with silver. So I thought these results were generally interesting and, I don't know, generally helpful, although not related to skincare because this is a drug. This is a drug claim.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think sometimes, even though the more aggressive drug scenario type studies to us can be really helpful because, you know, if they perform well in such a harsh setting, then the confidence level in it doing something is a little higher.
Yeah.
I will say, like, even though in this paper it showed that the silver cream performed on par with the control, that's not to say forget about using silver cream when you have burn wound. Like, ultimately, this highlights Bowswellia as a anti-inflammatory and or wound healing agent.
Yeah.
Because the silver is meant to be more like don't get your burn wounds infected type of things.
Yes, that's a good way of putting that.
So yeah, please don't say, I heard on Chemist Confessions that silver cream does nothing for me, so I'm gonna just leave my burn wound be.
We did not say that. We did not say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, your doctor's gonna look at you real funny.
Yeah, like, who are these girls telling you to not use silver cream?
Yeah. We should mention, though, there are other studies out there that have looked at it in the skincare realm. They looked at 0.5%. They call it boswellic acids. So this is an isolated compound. They tested it on 15 female volunteers, and they looked at things like elasticity, sebum excretion, as well as fine lines and wrinkles and tactile roughness. And they did find significant improvement for these after using 30 days. So, but this clinical was generally kind of vague, and I just generally like the comparison study more for their data. This one, I believe, did not have, it was a double-blind placebo-controlled split-face study, but it was just so small. So it's kind of just like, there's potential, but a lot more data is needed here.
Yeah, and I think I'm just musing about this. I was like, we started off this year in the retinoids realm, and we shared studies that had 100, 150, 200 people. Then we got into some other actives. Then we are looking at 30 to 40 people, maybe 60. And now in the plan, we have 13 and 15. So if y'all keep requesting lesser known ingredients, we're going to end the year on one person says it was great. My grandma loved this, therefore it must be excellent.
Yeah, and I just realized what we haven't told you guys is this is the last plant episode we're doing.
For a while. Yeah.
I think we've reached the limits of like just feeling like we're I don't know, just reaching for any sort of sign. Give us a sign that it does something. And we feel like really this is the minimum for us, Gloria. This is the bare minimum of where we feel like, okay, yeah, we can entertain this. We find this relevant. So this is the last plant stuff.
And again, this is a friendly reminder that all 3 ingredients we cover in this episode still has more data than a lot of random extracts out there.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So to wrap up, if you are shopping for Bowswellia,